sure that we secure the optical drives and the hard drives? Brock?
Actually, the front end comes apart really well. There's these little buttons up here, and when you push them down, the trays are able to slide out, so you can pull the hard drives.
Can you show us, David?
Yeah. So if I push down on these, the whole front just comes out, fan and all, with the grate cover. Go ahead and flip it around so they can see. So that's what it looks like, all protected and everything.
Okay.
And then same for the optical drive. You unfortunately do have to take the hard drive, at least this hard drive tray out to get to the buttons for the optical drive. But you can push that in and it allows you to take optical drives in and out. Now there are little brackets you have to add to the optical drive in order for it to go, and then it will just slide on these little rails, these little nubules in there.
Okay.
The hard drives, you can see they're these plastic housings here, and they're flexible. They just kind of bend around the drive, and then you snap them into place. They are fairly difficult to put on there. They do have room to add an additional screw for security, and then once you stick them in the drive itself, it's a really tight fit. So it's kind of a one-shot deal, unless as you can see, it's having a hard time going in there.
Okay.
So these things stick out a little bit, so you really got to push them in there.
Okay, and make sure that they don't kind of bend over and catch as you're sliding them in.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we put one in and then we had a hard time getting it out, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So are we going to put in the optical drive now first and then the hard drives? Is that
either way, since the optical drive is its own entity over here, we can put that in while some of the other students are putting in the hard drives in the hard drive tray, and then we'll just wait to put the last one in until we have everything secure.
Okay, great. Dave and Daniel are putting the hard drives into those housing units that have the fan on the bottom. And Brock?
I'll show you on this one. We got this one in there pretty good. They should, once you squeeze this part together, they should just release real easy and go right back in there. So it should be that easy.
Fit.
A nice fit. There's not really a whole lot of room for air. You can see on this one, in there you can see shiny, so it's not in there as far as it needs to be. So you really got to work these in here.
Okay. Make sure they're pushed in flush, otherwise it won't slide into the housing.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so here's our optical drive. We stuck the brackets on it, and we're going to try to slide it in here in line with its column. I'm going to go up or down. Looks like we might be catching right there. Okay, when we put these rails on, they didn't seat all the way down flush, so we had to apply some leverage using some quick thinking here, and we just used the table. But now they're down there flush, so now these shouldn't catch on the sides, and it should just slip right in there. And then you should hear it click, and it should be in place. There you go.
Beautiful.
And then the next step would be we'll throw the hard drive trays in there, and everything should look nice.
Okay.
David's now applying the little brackets. These ones are kind of tricky because they like to fall off. But someone reach in there and grab the...
Let's put it that way.
And it fell off. Alright, let's see if I can hold that still again.
Okay, so with a little bit of working forwards and backwards, we got all 4 drives into this little unit right here. There's a nice fan on the front, which will pull air right through and cool off the hard drives. Okay, there's the fan cord right there, right? Fan connector power cord. All right, let's slide it in, Brock. We'll see if we can get it to work. All right. And those rails kind of have fallen off in the past, so it's been you go, Brock.
Are we catching on something?
Yeah, it's not sitting in there square. You're on the lines right now. There it is.
All right, perfect. And now we've got the empty one, which we can use later, which we'll just put in
You wanna flip
place.
it over? 'Cause this cable's on the bottom.
That's fine.
It doesn't matter.
We can adjust it since it's empty. There it is.
Okay, and we've got the DVD drive, the 4 hard drives in place, and now we're ready to move on to the CPUs and the memory cooling units. Okay, it's time to put the CPUs in. Now, with this motherboard, we decided to go with an Intel architecture. These are 1366 sockets for 2 CPUs. So we got one here and one here. Now, for these, we bought this Xeon processors, 5600 series. Now, the Intel Xeon processor is a server CPU. So it's a CPU that's been designed to last and run all the time, right? So you can see here, Xeon processor E5607, 2.26 gigahertz speed. And you can see here, Brock's got the CPU right there. Now, he's going to want to make sure that he's careful with it when he takes it out of the package. He doesn't want to have any static electricity on him, so he doesn't want to be rubbing his feet on the carpet. He doesn't want to be drinking coffee from a styrofoam cup, and he's probably going to ground himself. So with one hand, he's going to continually touch back onto the metal case to make sure there's no static electricity buildup. All right? Okay, so he's lifting up the 0 and force and insertion force switch. Let's see here. Let me get that from the other angle. Hold on one second. All right, so you just lifted that up right there. Can you show it again? There you go. All right, now you're pulling out the holder plate. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's where the CPU is going to sit.
Okay. It's important to look. You can see there's a little nubule gaps there, and you have to pay attention on where it is on the mother.
All right, let's see that again. So you can see that there is right in the corner there a little notch, and so the notch is going to fit in, and this helps orient the CPU into the socket and correct. You don't want to just put it in any old way. Okay.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Sort of. Your hand's in the way, but there's no getting around that. Or rather, you just get it in there correctly. Nice.
So you see how it...
Mm-hmm. Right, that's the notch inside. Okay, perfect. All right. So now you're going to close the latch. Latch it down.
And then this piece should go over the top of that. Just grab it.
All right, perfect. Now it's locked in place. Good job. All right, so what's next? Do we want to do both? Might as well do the other one too, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get the other one out of the box.
I've already cut it.
Okay, prep the... Orient it correctly. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Good job. All right, that latches over, then that one goes over the top. Very clean. All right, both CPUs are in place. Okay, what's next?
Well, what I like to do is I'll take this is what they're going to be using for a cooler. So I'd set these in here just to see how exactly it's going to be oriented. Is it going to affect the RAM? Some of the large cooling units will go right over the top of the RAM, so this one seems to be fairly good over here. And this one looks it's going to be just fine too. So that means we can, well, no, it's awfully close there, but I think it will be just fine. So we could go ahead and put these on the CPUs without affecting the RAM.
Okay, now we decided to go with a cooling unit that's going to cool the CPU. That's a fanless cooling unit. I took Steve's recommendation and decided that a cooling unit without a fan is another layer of security or another less item to fail, which could then heat up the CPU and maybe cause it to fail. So it's a nice fanless cooling unit. All right, but you point out there's a problem in it. What's the problem?
The thermal paste that comes pre-applied to this is dirty. So
You're going to clean it off?
we're going to clean it off. And normally you'll buy like a cleaner. There'll be a pre-solution you put on there. You'll rub it in there and you clean it all off, and then another solution that will make it all sparkly clean. But I've done this at home. You take a coffee filter, and a coffee filter is actually a really good tool for cleaning the debris right out of it.
Okay.
So you can see it's taken all the debris with it.
Great.
And then if you can just keep going and actually scrub it on. This compound is actually really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to actually scrub away on it to get it out of there.
Okay, that sounds good. And then are you going to apply additional thermal compound on there?
Yes, we'll use some thermal paste that Dan has brought.
Arctic silver.
It's
Arctic Silver thermal paste?
It's some of the best stuff out there. You can tell this one's been used a little bit, and this is a fairly good size tube. So this is what we'll be